Hi there! Welcome to Parents Domain. You're not the only one who's reading this article at 10:47 p.m. with your phone in your hand and your toddler's head you've been stroking for the 10th time that night. The house is quiet, the world outside is dark, but in your home, the battle for bedtime is in full swing. If you're a parent of a toddler, this scene is likely all too familiar. The quiet desperation, the bone-deep exhaustion, the feeling that you would do anything for just a few uninterrupted hours of sleep. Sleep problems are often associated with newborns. We are conditioned to expect sleepless nights with a baby, understanding that they don't distinguish between night and day. A baby will sleep in odd spurts and wake up constantly to feed, and they seem to be blissfully oblivious of your profound need for sleep. But here's a hard truth that many parents learn only later, in the trenches of toddlerhood. The sleep challenges don't magically disappear. In many ways, toddlers are just as difficult, if not more so, when it comes to bedtime. If you're looking for a safe, welcoming space full of helpful resources and inspiration for parents, we'd love to invite you to visit parentsdomain.com. Toddlers are tiny forces of nature. They are able to fight, sleep with all their might, even though they run around like little tornadoes all day, changing clothes several times due to spills and other messes. They possess an almost supernatural ability to summon a burst of energy the moment their head is supposed to hit the pillow. Sounds familiar? Bedtime can be a battle with toddlers, whether it is stalling, "I have to pee again," a sudden profound fear of the dark, or outright defiance. The sweet, sleepy baby you once knew has been replaced by a master negotiator whose sole mission is to extend their waking hours by any means necessary. But don't give up hope yet. Before you resign yourself to a state of perpetual exhaustion, know that there are strategies that really work. These aren't just old wives' tales or random suggestions from a parenting forum. They are proven techniques based on the science of developmental psychology and the real-world experience of parenting. We were invited to attend a parenting workshop with Joe Ryan, a renowned sleep consultant and author of Baby Bliss. With a career dedicated to helping families, Joe Ryan has helped thousands navigate the complex world of sleep issues, using gentle, practical techniques that don't require endless, heartbreaking crying from kids and parents alike. Her approach is rooted in understanding the toddler brain and responding with empathy, structure, and consistency. We will now dive into Joe's expert toddler sleep tips and unpack 4 key strategies that will help you transform bedtime from a source of conflict into a cherished time to bond with your child. 1. Create a beautiful and consistent nighttime ritual. Predictability is a toddler's best friend. In their world, which is a whirlwind of new experiences, discoveries, and often self-created chaos, a reliable routine is an anchor. It provides a sense of safety and security in a world they are still trying to understand. Creating a familiar, soothing bedtime routine can be one of the most calming and effective tools in your parenting arsenal. As Joe says, a gentle routine before bedtime is a great way to help your child get into a rhythm at night and prepare for sleep. It's a powerful signal that the day's adventures are over and the time for rest has begun. Why it matters. At this age, children begin to firmly grasp cause and effect relationships and sequences. A nightly ritual leverages this cognitive development. The predictable sequence of events, bath, pajamas, story, song signals to their brain and body that it is time to transition from high-energy activity to a state of rest. This process helps to naturally lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Without that clear, consistent cue, their little bodies may simply not be ready to settle down, and they will resist sleep with all their might. A routine takes the guesswork and anxiety out of bedtime for them. What makes a good nighttime routine? It's not necessary to spend a lot of time or effort on a good nighttime routine. In fact, simplicity is often best. The most critical element is consistency. It is important to do the same things every night, in the exact same order, starting at roughly the same time. This rhythmic predictability is what your toddler's brain craves. Here is an example of a relaxing bedtime ritual that incorporates Joe's principles. Bath time. The warmth of the water is not only cleansing but also deeply relaxing for tense little muscles and a busy nervous system. Furthermore, the slight drop in core body temperature after getting out of a warm bath is a natural trigger for sleepiness. Pajamas, teeth brushing. These simple acts of hygiene are powerful signals that the day has officially ended. There will be no more playing, no more snacks, It's a clear bookend to their waking hours. Quiet activity to bond. This is the heart of the routine. Dim the lights and engage in something calm and connecting. This could include reading a favorite story, or two, singing a soft lullaby, or making gentle shadow puppets on the wall. The goal is connection and calm, not stimulation. Cuddle before lights out. A final warm embrace provides gentle reassurance before you leave the room. It fills their emotional cup and reinforces that they are safe and loved. Many families add their own unique rituals that become part of the rhythmic tradition toddlers love, such as giving a kiss to each stuffed animal, a gentle massage with lavender-scented lotion, or repeating the same loving phrase every single night. Sweet dreams, sleep tight, see you in the morning light. Parent tip: to make bedtime transitions even smoother for your toddler, you can use a visual clock or a routine chart. Many toddlers can't tell time but can understand pictures. A chart with pictures for each step, bath, PJs, teeth, book, bed, that they can check off or move a magnet next to is often very appealing. It gives them a feeling of control and independence over the process, making them an active participant rather than a passive recipient of instructions. 2. You should not stay in the room until they are asleep. This is a tough one. It's arguably one of the most common pitfalls for well-meaning, exhausted parents. You're exhausted. They're almost asleep. What's the harm if you stay just a few minutes longer, resting your head on the side of the crib until they finally drift off? The harm is in the precedent it sets. You've got to be careful. If your toddler always falls asleep with you right beside them, then they will expect, and indeed need, that same presence when they naturally wake up in the middle of the night. You have now become their sleep association, or sleep crutch. Joe Ryan emphasizes this point. They'll try to make you stay with them, but it's best to come and go and leave the room as soon as they fall asleep. Your ultimate goal is to teach them the skill of falling asleep independently. Why this works? Like adults, toddlers cycle through periods of deep and lighter sleep during the night. It is completely normal to briefly awaken several times a night between these cycles. As adults, we typically roll over and fall back asleep without even remembering it. When toddlers, who are dependent on you to fall asleep, awaken in the middle of the night, they may be frightened or confused if they notice that something has changed, namely, that you are gone. Their immediate instinct is to cry out for you to come back and recreate the conditions they need to fall asleep. What's the solution? Teach your children to fall asleep on their own from the beginning of the night, so when they wake up later, they have the skills and confidence to put themselves back to sleep. How to implement this? Teaching this skill doesn't mean you should let your child cry himself to sleep without any support, a method that can be stressful for both child and parent. This simply means that you will gradually and lovingly reduce your presence during bedtime. Try the sleep shuffle, also known as gradual withdrawal. Night 1-3. After your bedtime routine, place your child in their crib or bed while they are still awake. Sit in a chair right beside them. You can offer a comforting hand and quiet, reassuring words, but try not to engage in conversation or make eye contact. Your presence is calm and boring. Night 4-6. Move your chair a few feet away from the bed. If they get upset, you can respond with a pre-planned, soothing phrase like, "I'm here, it's sleepy time." The goal is to be a reassuring presence, not an active participant. Evening 7-10. Move the chair closer to the front door. Continue to offer verbal reassurance, but from a greater distance. They are learning that you are still there for them, even if you are not right next to them. Subsequent nights, continue moving the chair out of the room until, by the second or third week, you should be able to complete the routine, say goodnight, and leave while they are still awake but drowsy. If they cry out or are distressed, check-ins are still encouraged, but keep them brief and boring. Under a minute. Reassure them, gently lay them back down if needed, say your sleepy phrase, and leave. You are teaching independence, not abandonment. Bonus tip. For a toddler who keeps getting out of their new big kid bed, a visual clock that uses colors or lights to signal when it's okay to get up can be a lifesaver. The rule is simple: stay in your room until the light turns green. This provides a clear, non-negotiable boundary. 3. Introduce a comfort object, aka a lovey. Separation from caregivers is a huge developmental hurdle for toddlers. As they become more aware of their own independence, they can also become more anxious about being away from you. This often manifests as increased clinginess at bedtime or the development of new fears. To ease this transition, introduce a special object of comfort, often called a lovey. Joe Ryan suggests, give your child a comfort object to help them relax and feel secure. Why it helps? A comforter, or what psychologist D.W. Winnicott termed a transitional object, acts as a tangible symbol of your love and presence, even in your absence. It could be a special stuffed animal, a small, soft blanket, the muslin swaddle they used as a baby. This object provides a source of consistent, sensory comfort and familiarity that your child can control. They can touch it, hold it, and smell it, which helps them to self-soothe and manage feelings of anxiety on their own. Over time, it can become a powerful sleep aid in its own right, immediately signaling comfort and safety. How to select and introduce a comfort object. If possible, allow your child to choose their own lovey, especially if they are over 18 months. Their choice will have more meaning and be more readily accepted. Before giving it to them, sleep with it for a couple of nights yourself. Your scent will transfer to the object, providing an extra layer of powerful comfort in the middle of the night. Make the lovey an exclusive part of the bedtime and naptime routine so that it becomes strongly associated with feeling relaxed, safe, and sleepy. It shouldn't be a regular toy that is played with all day. Buy a duplicate. Once a lovey is chosen, immediately purchase an identical backup. This will save you from a frantic, midnight search if the beloved original gets lost or is in the wash. Important. Make sure the object you are using is safe for sleep. For toddlers over 1 year, this is less of a concern than for infants, but you should still avoid anything with buttons, beads, loose ribbons, or other items that could pose a choking hazard. 4. Add a gentle night light. Remember when your child was a baby and could sleep soundly in a pitch-black room? For many toddlers, this time may be gone. A child's imagination blossoms around age 2 or 3, and with it can come the development of nighttime fears. The darkness, which was once peaceful, can become a canvas for scary monsters and looming shadows. It's not uncommon for them to be terrified of the evil villain from Fireman Sam or some other character they saw. Joe Ryan advises, at this age, toddlers' imaginations really kick in, so buy a lamp for their bedroom so they can be sure it isn't full of bogeymen or trolls, or that horrible Norman guy. The right night light. Not all night lights are created equal. Use a gentle light with a warm amber or red tone. Bright white and blue-toned lights can actually interfere with the brain's production of melatonin, signaling that it's daytime and delaying sleep. Dim the lights. You only want enough light to provide comfort and orientation, not to illuminate the entire room. Be careful with stimulating character lights. While a projector that splashes their favorite cartoon character on the ceiling may seem like the perfect choice, it can actually be too engaging and stimulating at bedtime. A simple, dim, warm-toned light can help your child sleep better and reduce their fear of the dark if they awaken during the night. It will also prevent you from being woken at 2 a.m. by a terrified child who thinks their own stuffed bear is a monster lurking in the corner. Change their day to support better nights. Sleep does not begin when their head hits the pillow. It is a 24-hour process, and what happens during the day has a profound impact on what happens at night. A toddler who is overtired, undertired, overstimulated, or who slept too long or too late during their nap is a toddler who will struggle at bedtime. Check out these daytime essentials for better nights. Naps. Most toddlers between 18 months and 3 years require 1 nap per day, typically lasting 1-2 hours. Pay close attention to timing. A nap that ends too late in the afternoon, after 3 or 4 p.m., can significantly interfere with your child's bedtime. An overtired child who skips their nap is also a recipe for disaster as they become wired and hyperactive. Outdoor activity. Daily exposure to natural sunlight, especially in the morning, is crucial for regulating our internal clocks or circadian rhythms. Fresh air and vigorous physical activity also help toddlers burn off their boundless energy, making them more physically ready for sleep when bedtime arrives. Avoid screens before bed. The recommendation from the American Academy of Pediatrics is to avoid screen time for at least 1-2 hours before bed. The blue light emitted from screens, TVs, tablets, phones is a potent suppressor of melatonin, making it much more difficult for your child's brain to power down and fall asleep. Be careful with sugar. A diet high in sugar, especially in the afternoon and evening, can lead to energy spikes and crashes that disrupt sleep patterns. Be mindful of hidden sugars in juices and snacks. Even natural sources of caffeine, like chocolate, can cause hyperactivity that makes settling down at night a major challenge. Conclusion: if you feel like bedtime is a relentless, nightly battle, please know that it doesn't have to be. You don't have to dread the evening hours. Sleep is not something you need to punish or force your child into doing. It is a skill they can learn, just as they learn potty training, walking, or saying please. With a healthy dose of consistency, a deep well of empathy, and the right tools in your toolkit, you can transform bedtime into a peaceful, predictable, and even enjoyable part of your day. Start small. Don't try to implement everything at once. Pick one of the strategies above that resonates with you, perhaps starting with a consistent routine, and focus on that for a week before building on it. Every small success will build momentum, and remember, when your toddler finally learns to sleep soundly through the night, you can get better sleep too. Because, let's be honest, parents who are chronically sleep deprived, we are the true zombies. Sweet dreams.